Hello everyone and welcome. Now today we've got some beautiful product we're going to be working with. We have got Yana's Daisies here and it's gorgeous. And we have the molded frame, which is an embossing folder. We've got the Crafty Hug Sentiments, which I've already got some of them pressed and die cut out. And I've also got a sample card here. This is what we're going to make today, something similar. And then I've got the Daisy Shower and the layered Daisy Shower stencil, and I've got the Daisy Trio and the layered Daisy Trio stencil. And we're not going to be working with all of these products, but I wanted to show you the whole collection. And so what we're going to primarily focus on today is the Yana's Daisy, and we're going to use the molded frame. And this is really beautiful. I made the first one just playing around. I wanted to kind of get a feel for it and see what it looked like, so I made one, and I loved it so much that I thought I immediately got to make another one. And I used some rust orange colored foiled paper for the other one, and we're going to use some green foiled, it's actually foiled cardstock is what it is. We're going to use it for this particular one, and I loved the foiled look on it. And so that's what prompted me to use foil again the second time. So we're going to do some paper piecing, and it's going to take a little bit of time. I'll speed some things up and cut some things out just so you won't have to watch the repetition of all of it. But and the first one, I'll tell you, went together much easier because I left the, this green is going to be the outside, and then I'm going to bring some yellow in for the inside. And when I did my first card, I just left the yellow on the magic mat and was able to paper piece from that, so my flower bits didn't fall out. But what I did wrong this time was I should have die cut out the backer piece first. And since I didn't do that, I had to take my yellow piece off of here, and my flowers will fall apart. And so then I'll have like a jigsaw puzzle to put together. But I'm able to do it. And I'm going to try and just pick up the pieces that are on my mat with tape and lay them in the general area that they go in. But then eventually I have, the wheels fall off and I just have to paper piece quite a bit of it. But it's not a big deal. You can figure it out. It's just like a jigsaw puzzle. Anywho, but otherwise, if you do your backer sheet first, do your outline second, and then this third, if you just leave it laying on your mat, you'll be able to just pick each piece up and individually put them in there. That's how I did it the first time. But I've got a little gung-ho there. And so I've got some pink tape on here, and I thought, well, I'll pick all those up together so I know where they go. And then I'll just lay these other two pieces with the other side where they go. And so that's what I did. But somewhere along the way, I think I bump it or drop it or something, and then they all kind of go in different directions. Now I've got this scrap piece of paper that I had printed some digital images on, and there's just a tiny little bit at the bottom of it. My printer messed up, and so I'm going to use this. It is just Hammer Mill 110-pound white cardstock, and this is going to be my base. Now, on the other card in which I did the burnt orange or copper, or whatever color you want to call that, I used a black backer sheet, and I liked it too, but I wanted to try something different with this one. So I'm going to just take a minute and pop all the green pieces out, and it did take a minute. When you do the foil, run 2 passes. I only ran 1, and so it was a little trickier to get them out, but if you do the foil on this, you're going to want to run 2 passes through. Now here I'm going to take, once I figure out that I've got my flower laying in the wrong direction, I'm going to take and get these pieces laid down in here. And we're just going to start piecing. I'm going to lay down some glue and just start piecing these in. And I've sped this up tremendously because it did take me a good bit of time. This is where a lot of them fell out. I wanted to turn it in the direction that I had it laying instead of upside down so that I could get them in the right places. And so I'm just going to start piecing and just filling it in. And some of them will take me a minute to figure it out, but otherwise it's not that much of a challenge. And I will tell you that it is very relaxing doing this. If you're not in a hurry and it's raining outside and stormy as it has been around here, you can just have some fun playing with this and putting it together. So once I get all of these laid down in there, I am going to do some ink blending and some, I'll even bring some markers in on this one. I didn't use the markers on the first one I did. I just ink blended, but on this one, I'm going to ink blend and do the markers. And here I'm just trying to get all these pieces laid down in there. that I've taped up. And so that worked out pretty well. So the other pieces are gorgeous, and I'm going to be working with them on my channel too. Those will be upcoming. Probably run this before those, and then those will consecutively follow. But this collection by Yana is just simply beautiful, and just so great to have at this time of year when we're having so many storms and so many gray days that we know that the rain is going to bring the green grass and the flowers. And so I'm so happy to be working on some flowers here. I do have some daffodils popping up in my yard, and my crocus, and my daylilies, the green's starting to pop up on it, and everything's starting to come together. So here I'm just taking my orange blending brush and just adding some orange around the centers of the flowers, and I'm taking my, oh, what is this? Ground espresso, and I'm just inking up that yellow center, and I'm going to lay these down in there. I'll get my desk cleaned up, and we'll get the centers laid in there. And they are 3 distinct centers, so you can easily piece them in. And just lay them down in there. You could also pop them up if you wanted a little bit of dimension there, but I'm not going to do that. I've got quite a bit of dimension on that embossing folder, that molded frame. It's really cool. A little bit different embossing folder than I've had, and I've got a lot of them. Actually kind of reminds me of the thank you embossing folder that we got earlier. So now I'm just taking a brown marker, and I'm just, everywhere that there's a little seed, like a little half moon, like a little seed spot, I'm just putting a dot of ink just to kind of make it look, I guess, seedy is what I'm doing. And I didn't do this on the other card either, but I just was kind of taking it to the next level by adding that. And then I'm going to bring in my markers and just do some wispy little marks on there and just try and give a little bit more dimension to the flowers as well. And I've just got a tri-blend marker there, and I think I'm using the medium and the dark on it. Didn't need the light because I already used the blending brush for that, so we're just going to use the medium and the dark. And it does give the flowers a little bit more dimension. You don't need to do it because they are beautiful enough in and of themselves, but I just thought it would be fun to give it a whirl. So that's what I did. And I'm just going round and round, doing, multiple inkings on there. And I think it looks pretty. So now we just need to get the elements for our card together. And I'm choosing to use this peridot card base. And I thought it would look really pretty on there. And I like the light green contrast against that dark green foil. And I'm just going to foil the outside of the card base. I'm not going to add a layer, or not foil, I'm going to emboss. And I'll bring my die cut machine in, and we'll just run it through there. We're going to use, this is a 3D embossing folder. So we're going to use our base plate and then our D plate. And I'm only going to roll it halfway. Or no, I did roll it all the way through. I was thinking about rolling it halfway so I wouldn't mess up my card base, but then I was like, it's not even going to touch. So you can see you've got a nice frame around there, and it's got multiple layers of embossing on that frame. You've got like an indentation in the center, and then it pops up, and then another indentation on the outer edge of it. I'm just going to give it a little press so that my card base will stay closed a little bit better. And then we're going to get to just making a very simple card. I'm going to let Yana's Daisy shine on this and just keep it really simple. Now, I don't know who, that must have been my husband coming in and grabbing something. I just realized there was another arm in the video. That's hilarious. So I'm going to get this laid down, and we will have our focal point. And I think it's just gorgeous. So, with a die and an embossing panel, or embossing folder, you've got all the elements for a beautiful card. Of course, you need a sentiment. And I had previously inked up the Crafty Hugs Sentiments in blue. I think I used Cosmic Sky is what I used for it. And I didn't like how it looked on here, so I'm going to bring in my green Better Press ink, and I'm going to ink up this, I think it says Sending Love and Hugs or something like that. And I'll just ink this one up with my green Better Press ink. And I've got a half sheet of that cotton Better Press paper from Spellbinders. I cut it in half so that I wouldn't mess up the other half of it and I could use it for something else. We're just going to do one sentiment here. And I've got this green ink, and we'll just ink it up and get it pressed, and we will have a sentiment that better matches the color scheme that's on our card. So we'll just get some pink pixie tape in here and get this tape down, and we'll be good to go. I can't remember if I don't know if this is fern or what the color is on this green ink, but it's a good solid green. And then we'll just run it through these, Spellbinders Platinum 6, and we'll have our Better Pressed sentiment. And then we can just use the coordinating die that comes with it, and we'll get it die cut out. There it is, Sending Love and Hugs. Really pretty, very scripty. This sentiment set has a lot of loop-de-loops on it, and it takes me a minute to figure out which dies go with which. But when I package them in my sleeves, I actually put the die right over the top of the sentiment, and that way when I pull them out, I'll just pull them out together and I won't have any confusion. They were not necessarily together in the packaging, so it took me a minute to figure out what went with what. So I just brought in my little scout for this, and we'll just get it die cut out. And it looks lovely. And I'm glad I put the white background piece on the daisies because it kind of helps tie in the white sentiment. So I'm just going to bring in some of my Spellbinders foam squares, and we'll get this popped up and laid down on there. And this is a great card for somebody that's needing a little love or needing a hug for whatever reason. And we've got storms rolling in again tonight. We have had a lot of storms. There was a lot of damage in my younger daughter's neighborhood. Fortunately, she didn't have any damage, but there was some houses destroyed over in that area, which 2 years ago, I've mentioned my other daughter, there was a tornado in her neighborhood, and it completely demolished the house right next door to them. The Lord is with us, keeping my children safe. So I'm thankful for that, and hopefully this evening we can trust that He'll do the same thing as the storms roll in. So I'm just putting some embellishments down on there, and that will finish off this card. Let's bring in the other one in the photo so you can see them both. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.